Good evening. It's the 28th of February, 2024, and today we're looking at another different, if you want to call it that, SPI game, Sorcerer, and it is the game of magical conflict. It's going to tell you here, an imaginative world of fantasy. The time is third cycle, first age of magic. And, yeah. It's a hard one for me to approach because this may be the strangest game that SPI ever made, ever came out with. This is mid-70s, 75, 76, somewhere around there. And there are games with stranger themes, much stranger themes than this. They're SPI games. I think that Demons is right up there with the strangest themed game. There's others. Demons comes right to mind because it's a fantasy game itself. And there are, there may be games that with stranger mechanics, a la Fall of Rome, Solitaire System, or a la another one with some strange Russian Civil War, even maybe, or even what we looked at, Plot to Assassinate Hitler. Some of those are different, but when you put this whole thing together in this package, I think this is right up there with the strangest games that they made. I have played this. I've played this several times. It has a dedicated solitaire system, a couple of solitaire scenarios, and you can play it opposed. You can play it one of multiple sorcerers, right? So let's look at it. And it's been a while since I played it. I probably will play it again in the future. Maybe soon in the future, just because I've got it out and I'm looking at it, and and it keeps my mind, and it's in the front of my mind. Great SPI box game, map, rules, the cool SPI envelope, business reply by mail, subscribe today, and the counters. They're in one of the counter trays, which is always interesting. Look at that little. This is when they. I don't even think. I think this was still when they wasn't calling them dice. They were dice. They were calling them randomizers, right? Got little thing, man. It does its job, though. It'll do its job. But yeah, that's the counters. You've got the red, green, orange, purple, yellow, and blue. Different colors of magic, right? They're functional. I even kind of like the counters. If you get down here and look at your sorcerer armies and so on, I like the counters. The counters are fine. Right? Counters are fine and good. They're as colorful as anything SPI was making at the time. And so yeah, I dig the counters. Well, as much as you can dig half-inch counters, man. Quite frankly, half-inch counters are kind of hard for me to read, my old eyes. But if it have to be half-inch counters, SPI did it almost as good as anyone else. All right, for the time period. And here's the map. Oh boy, the map is done this way for a reason. The colors are going to come into play. The colors of magic, if you will. They're going to come into play, right? But I don't know, maybe getting close to a decade ago, Callendale reviewed this game and even played it. Even played a little bit. And he's exactly right. He said that one of the most... He said this map, you do have... I got it wrong. I got it a long ways when it should be. I should have it right to start with. But that the map, which does have all the requisite boxes and game turn records and phase records, but The colors on the map look like somebody threw up Smarties, right? Vomited up Smarties, and that is what it looks like here. But again, it is what it is. You've got different territories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess 5, 6 territories for your 6 sorcerers or wizards. And let's look at the rules here. It's been a while since I played it, but the game kind of makes my head hurt, and not just because you're looking at here, but it's a couple of things. It's the first sorcerer, you know. It'll give you a little. This is just the little blurb, right? Once upon a time, either past or future, reality will be less fixed than we know it. 7 universes impinged one upon the other, ebbing and flowing in and out of phase. That which was sustainable waxed insustainable, and that which was figment became fact. All right, that's kind of, and you read that blurb, and that's kind of how it plays a little bit. Let's look at the turn. General course of play, okay. Sequence of play. Let's look at the turn sequence. Sequence of play. First player movement and conjuration phase. You're conjuring armies, if you will. Sort of like was looking at Necromancer from Steve Jackson Games last week. You're conjuring armies. You're conjuring, some of them fly and so on. Some of the different creatures, something like that. Except they're not dead. Join attrition phase, attrition segment, vortex movement phase, joint combat phase, and then you got the multiplayer version, which is a multiplayer game. I've only played it 2-player and solitaire, right? And I forget exactly how it works. It has something to do with the colors. And it is a fantasy war game, if you will. We'll talk about that in a minute. But it feels very one of the least war games from SPI. It really 2-player scenarios. Where is the solitaire? Multiplayer scenarios. There's some solitaire. I know there is. Because there's one that's kind of like Space Invaders. They're coming down from you from the top. Down. Optional rules. Creating scenarios. Dissolving new spell. I know I didn't make up solitaire rules. They're here. Two-player scenarios, maybe it's here. 1-player scenarios, of course. You get 2 or 3 of them, maybe. I've played all the solitaire scenarios, and I've played it 2-player too, but I don't remember what scenario we used. Introduction to, okay. All right. And of course, you have your requisite movement cost points. Schedule, point cost rather, and yeah. And the game, definitely strange themed, undoubtedly strange themed, but it's much stranger than even one can imagine when you start getting into the mechanics of the game. It does kind of feel like a Euro game, as it is a conflict game, as you're going against other sorcerers who are conjuring other armies, other things. Let's look at the conjuration phase and see what it exactly. There's the hex conversion, white hex conversion, color hex conversion. Yeah. I do remember that. That's where you get into some strange mechanics, almost almost, like I said, Euro mechanics, a semi-heavy Euro game. Euro feel, it has that feel to it. Not fully a Euro, but it does have a Euro feel to it. Some people might disagree with that, but I don't know how you could if you're going to be honest. Again, you're in a conflict, but it feels like the theme's kind of pasted on from the mechanics. It's what it feels like, and that always screams Euro to me. And listen, I'm not an anti-Euro player. Those Euro games I like. I'd much rather play war games or a Ameritrash game, but there are Euros I like. I just probably don't like them as much as I do war games and other games, right? So I'm not anti-Euro when I say it feels like a Euro. That I think some people might think I'm using Euro as a pejorative. I'm not. I'm just telling you the truth. It kind of does feel like a Euro, and it's just kind of an odd game in and of everything. I think there's a little bit of math here in the movement and so on, if I can remember. But I remember I would play and I would think, man, it's giving me a headache. And again, I don't think it was just from the colors. I don't know if it was from all the mechanics or not. But I did play this a couple years ago, last time I played it. And I probably stayed at it for a couple of weeks playing it because I was told that the more you play, the more you begin to understand the game and you like the game and you understand the mechanics. The mechanics become way more important in the theme, which is kind of odd for SPI. SPI was selling history. SPI was selling a game you played, for a month, and then you put it down. You never went back to it, right? I mean, some of those SPI games was horribly imbalanced. There was more history than game there. I was trying to look from Conjuration here. Sequence of play variants. As a conjuration phase, you're gonna join attrition phase, okay? But I was gonna look up that conjuration, but yeah, you're conjuring. I think you even have maybe flying units. As a matter of fact, I know you do. There's one dragon. You got a dragon which is pretty powerful. Dragons in fantasy games usually can be OP. They're definitely the nuclear warheads of the dragon. So yeah, but I just put it on here because it was one of the weird games. Definitely one of the weird games of SPI. Definitely a game I would tell you is worth investment in time to play if you just to feel the game. Like I said, it feels like a heavy Euro with a pasted on theme of sorcerers fighting each other. Again, people might disagree with that. That's what I think. That's how it feels to me. Not a bad game. Not a great game either. I would say it's a mid game. But again, I've been told the more you play, and I never did want to play this that much, to get into it, to play it over and over. But the more you play, the more you appreciate it. So I may play this sometime recently. It's not a hard game. I remember it's not a hard game because I remember I was down with the rules and finishing a solitaire scenario just in no time. Now, it's not even a real long game as SPI games go. It's just, this map and the colors, all of that has meaning when you're moving from one color to the other and so on. All that has meaning. It's that's why they've got the different colors. It's the worst part of it, that map, man, it's just, like I said, it's just, looks like a demented checkerboard. Right? But there it is. Wanted to get it in there just because I think that as a strange game, it belongs near the top of strange SPI games. There's more. There's stranger themes. There may be stranger mechanics, but there are none that puts the whole total package together. Have you played it? Anybody out there played it? If you have, let me know. Let me know what you thought of it. I didn't find it a bad game. Again, I didn't find it a great game. By the way, that's most SPI games. Again, they were still in history. There are always a few. There's still a few that I think are great. We looked at one not too long ago with the Creature that Ate Sheboygan. I do think that's nearly a great game from them. Demons. I would call that a great game. Other people might disagree with that. I liked Russian Civil War. I still have that game. I have, the designer's edition or whatever it was where you had the mounted map. But yeah, I just loved SPI. I loved. If I didn't love everything they did, and I did not, I love the idea behind everything they did. Even this game, even though feels less like a simulation than other games, it's still I liked this game, or I appreciated this game. I appreciate all of them. So yeah, all right, that's it for today. Sorcerer. I think you can buy this for a good price if you're looking for a copy. I think decent prices are out there available, and they're worth picking up and fooling around with. If you're just picking it up for the solitaire scenarios, I don't know if that's exactly if it's exactly worth that. But if you're picking them up to play against some other people, 2-player or multiplayer, and then you have some solitaire scenarios that will help you learn the game. They're good to help you learn certain mechanics in the game. And the scenarios are all pretty much different. That's the good thing. So there it is. All right. Pick it up if you want to play a very different game. Maybe the strangest SPI game of all. Okay. Y'all have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. I'll probably have another video this week. I was wanting to do something with, I'll tell you. I'll probably have another video this week. So I'll talk to you soon. Y'all have a great one. Bye-bye.